Dear Lions, we welcome you all for this wonderful session. It's the fourth day we have been having a live webinar every day, and the smile says it all. We are very happy to welcome Lavanya Doohan here. Her smile says a lot of things for you. One is relief, satisfaction, achievement, and so many other emotions that go through any single person. But this has been a long journey. To tell you more about that, she'll be talking, and I'll just give a small brief intro. Worldline is a very interesting project. When I say project, it's unlike anything that we have actually seen before. This is the second year we are running this project, and it is a very interesting project simply because when you participate in this program, you will learn a lot about the entire domain of computer science. You learn a lot about yourself. You have an incredible opportunity to get ahead of all the competition that you will face before. So to tell you more about that, over to Lavanya Doohan. Lavanya Doohan is one of the students who got placed in Worldline, and she will explain to you the opportunity, the challenges, and what is the greatest thing that you will face here. So over to you, Lavanya.
Okay, first of all, good evening, everyone. And I'm very delighted to be here today to share my recent interview experience and to provide some insights about what I have learned in my recent interview experience for the position of a paytech engineer at Worldline. So, at first, let me tell you a little bit about Worldline and what this company does. So, Worldline is a European company which is specialized in payment and transaction services. It's a company that is a leading player in Europe payment transaction services. It's a company that provides various solutions related to electronic payment processes, digital banking, e-commerce, and as you all can guess, it is a fintech company. So, Worldline has its strong presence in Europe and is considered as one of the key players in European payment and transaction market. It's, I think, the fourth global best company, and it has over 18,000 employees. Uh, and let me now walk you through what my journey at Worldline looked like. As I said, it is not like any other company which you interview for. So whenever a company comes to our campus, what happens is they take an online test, and you have to code, for example, 2 or 3 coding questions, and based on that result, you go for interview and HR rounds. In Worldline, it was a hackathon. It was not just a hackathon. You had to clear 2 rounds in order to get to the hackathon. And once you made it to the hackathon, you need to go to an in-person interview, which took place in Chennai. So the first round that happened in Worldline was the level 1, in which they tested us on the basics of things. So it had 3 sections. First was the Linux basics section. Second was Windows basics section. As for example, in Linux basics, they shared the syllabus with us. If you guys are comfortable, I'll show you what the syllabus of it look like. So they pre-share the syllabus. Okay, this all things will be asked in the examination, and they even took a mock for us before the actual examination. So in level 1, Linux basics and command, in that introduction to Linux, basic commands on Linux, Linux maintenance and troubleshoot, all those questions was asked. The second section in the level 1 test consisted of Windows basics. They asked us about different configurations, in that introduction to management, introduction to Windows, management services of Windows, and that all were asked. And the third module consisted of software development lifecycle. So these 3 modules consisted of level 1 test. It was a 90-minute situation test, and the cutoff in order to clear level 1 was 60%. There were 50 MCQ tests, and I think it took place around 2nd July. One thing that I really want to point out over here, Worldline came to our campus in Feb 2023. And they took, I think, a pre-initial test in March. They took a few tests in March, and after that, they ghosted us for a really good amount of 5 to 6 months. And they came back in July with high hopes that they really wanted to hire in large amount. And I think they were around 2K registrations in that. So after the level 1 test was over, this was a very it covered all the 9 topics, and it was very vague test. After that, they took us to the second round, which was domain specific. So Worldline had domains like testing, Java and Angular, C++, and I think one was C/ with something else. I'm missing it. So yeah, so the second round was domain specific, and based on our CGPA and the Worldline level 1 score. So we were allotted different domains. So my preferences were okay. My personal preferences, my first preference was C++, second was testing, and third was Java. And I was among the few unlucky ones who didn't got my first preference, and I was given testing as my domain. In round two, again, I think one of the greatest thing about Worldline was they gave us mock test. So we took mock test before the actual test. We that gave us a really strong edge about, okay, this is how the actual paper is going to look like, and they really made the syllabus very clear that these are the topics that on which we are going to ask you about. These are the, like, for specific domains, okay, you need to prepare this topic. Sir, should I share the syllabus to them if they want to see what specific topics did they ask us about?
Uh, we are on YouTube live, so
Okay, so not possible.
it is. If they later on we'll see.
Okay, so let me just give you a rough idea. For example, in C++, they ask us about class and object concept, the polymorphism concept, exceptional handling, templates. My domain was testing, right? So in my domain, they asked me about the development life cycles in different testing. So they even provided, like, in development cycles, you need to focus on certain aspects. What were the aspects? Like, for example, testing throughout the development cycle, the STLC model, the correlation between the development cycles, like that. What is development cycle? What is static testing? What are the defects management techniques in development in software testing? So like that, they were very specific. Not only this, they really provided us Udemy links from which we can learn our domains and, excel in the interview. So again, level 2 happened, and it was based on the same format like the level 1. It was an MCQ based examination, and I was tested on my domain, that was testing. And we gave mocks, we cleared the final examination. Finally, I think 200 students out of all those students were selected for the level from this level 1 and level 2. And the level 3 was a hackathon. So guys, as hackathon states, you have to build a project from scratch, and then like that, how general hackathons goes. Worldline hackathon was really different from all that. It had 3 stages, and it was not like an actual hackathon. This hackathon consisted of questions that were MCQ based. So this is something that I have never overcome before in my life. So they were MCQ questions based on full stack development. So you had to fill in the blanks, and then you had to run the code. And if the output that you have provided was right, then you can submit it. So there were a few questions on full stack development. This was the hackathon part. Apart from that, it had MCQ questions from level 1 and level 2. Whatever you have learned in level 1 and whatever you have learned in level 2, it consists of those questions. And apart from that, there were 4 coding questions too, which I'll say were easy to medium level, not that tough, not that hard. Once you cleared this round with a score of 60%, you move forward to the in-person interview. Now, this was not like a general interview which you give on a Google Meet or on a Meets team. This interview took place in person in Chennai. And after clearing level 1 and level 2, I started by researching about the company throughout. Guys, let me tell you, this is a really important process, because when the interviewer was going through my resume, the first thing that he noticed is my projects aligned very well with what the company was doing. And I think this gave me an extra edge. So whenever you are preparing for an interview, just read about the company, what it does, what are the different products it have. And if you have ever made a project that aligns with the company's requirement or the work that it is doing, please put it in your resume. It will really give you an extra edge, especially in this duration. So I started about researching about the company throughout. I learned about its projects, the project that it has, the project that it does, the services, the culture, what recent development this company has done. And this helped me in understanding how my skill and my experiences aligned with the needs of them. Then I made my resume accordingly. And as I've told you, it really helped me to, like, be an extra edge over the other candidates. And please, guys, whenever you have this chance, do it yourself. I also invested my time in preparing for common interview questions. And I think at the last minute, what you should do is you should go for the frequently asked coding questions. Go for the frequently asked coding questions, the technical questions, and go through them thoroughly. Be ready with the HR questions. Don't think that HR is easy. Have that mental state. Be prepared for whatever can be asked. There are some very typical questions that can really put you forward in terms of all this, like what are your strengths and weaknesses? Introduce yourself. You never know where the interview can, where this question's answers can take you. Okay, so I also learned from my experience. I did a few mistakes in the past interviews, and I learned from that. I practiced. I make a list of all the interview questions that companies was asking my friends, and then I learned them. I from my past experience, I integrated all those achievements, and this is how I handled my interview. And on the interview day, I made sure that I arrived well in advance. I wasn't in a rush. I gave myself time to relax. And then I read my notes. I was mentally prepared. Sriram sir also motivated me in the morning. He said that give me a call, and everything, just turned out very well. About the interview day, let me tell you, 2 rounds took place. It consisted of questions based on my domain. So whenever your domain is allotted to you, please go to the syllabus that the company has provided you, go through it thoroughly, and read about all the past interview questions or the most frequently repeated questions in that domain. So yeah, they asked me questions on my domain, like what is the SDLC cycle. Also learn the real life implementation of each and everything, because companies ask it. So what is the real life implementation of this thing, or how can you relate OS to okay, like explain how operating system works in real life, something like that. So these questions are very frequently asked in interviews. And I then they asked me to code a question which was based on linked list. Apart from that, we were asked to bring our laptops to the interview hall. And I think if you guys have worked ever on your projects, it's a really great time to show what you have done. So I showed my project to themselves, and I'll say that they were really impressed by the amount of work and the efforts that I have put all through these years. So yeah, and that again was really helpful. So show them your project, show them the work that you have done, explain them what you have done, and if it's in the same domain, like my when my interview was going on, right? So my interview called one more guy who was senior to him, and he showed them, see that this is the work we are doing, and this girl itself, being in college, is doing the same work. So that kind of thing also happened for me. So this was a technical interview, basic coding questions, then the general interview questions about whatever you have learned in computer science, about OOPS, DBMS, CN, computer networks, and whatever your domain is. Mine was software testing, so about that. And then about the project plays a major role, so make sure that you invest all your time, you make good projects, to build them from scratch, and it's not copied from anywhere, right? Once the technical interview was done, I moved forward to HR interview, and it was just like a typical HR interview. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, uh, what role have you played in this project, and like that they discussed it. After that, we discussed about location, and I asked them a few questions. For example, sir, I'll be having 3 months before joining this company, what skills should I work on, like that. um, that's the end for my Worldline journey. Results came a week later from our CDC team, and voila, I made it. I think a huge thank goes to Sriram sir. He was very supportive throughout this entire journey, especially for me. And I remember the day I came back from my interview, I went back to him. I told him, said this happened, and I'm so sure about 4 people making it in. And Sriram sir believed my words. And then when result came, I went back to him with sweets in my hands. That yes, sir, we made it finally. This recession time is really bad, guys. Trust me, it's actually really bad. And it's really good to finally be on this side of the camera. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And if you guys have any doubt, please let me know. I'll be more than glad to answer them all.
If you just before see, one of the things that I love about Lavanya is her energy. So it's so your Ravana is always full of energy. So we have admired her energy, and hopefully some of us will get the same energy. Dear lights, uh, I think Lavanya was on the other side of a webinar like this by Dr. Manigandan sir 1 year ago, right, Lavanya? I
Yes,
think
sir.
Manigandan sir came for a webinar and
Yes,
motivated
sir. Like
everyone.
till now, I've been on that side of the webinar, and this is the first time when I'm on this side of the webinar. It's just such a blessing to be here.
Okay, so we have a question from Ashutosh.
Sure, sir.
Okay, this is not a question. This is yesterday's question. So, dear lines, if you're watching, you can post your question. Before we go to the students' questions, again, I think they're spellbound by your energy and enthusiasm, so they're waiting to raise the questions. But now the students of the 21 batch have got the registration, Lavanya. So
Okay.
they have got the registration now. Last year you got it in February, but
Yes, sir.
Worldline has posted the registration now. And
Okay.
after this, they will be going through this journey for around a year,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So
Like for us, it came in February. They took some tests, but I don't know what happened. Might be some
you
issues. They
had a
posted us for.
learning videos and all, right? You had some
Yes, sir. I
videos
do
that you
have.
had.
I have the learning videos. I have all the syllabus, all the
No, no,
domains,
meaning
whatever
you
they
had a
ask.
learning slow down. Just you had to learn through videos, and after that only the test happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similar to that, dear Lions, when you go through a process like this, Worldline is going to give you training. So training in terms of learning videos, periodic interaction, webinars, where the Worldline team will actually go to VIT Vellore and conduct webinars. You can interact with the people in Worldline. You can interact with a lot of people in Worldline. We'll have keep having videos and things. So now, why I am telling this? These videos are generic in nature. So, Lavanya, your take on what you learned and how it helped you in other company interviews or how it shaped your journey in terms of learning.
Okay. So first of all, one of the great things about Worldline is I till now I haven't seen any other company who has invested this much. They have taken mocks, they have given you material to study from, they have provided you almost everything because they really want to hire. Okay, so they at each stage they will give you each and every required material that you need to in order to move to the next round. And I think in my personal journey, what I have seen is if they are putting this much efforts, just learn, try to grasp things from them. Whatever they used to share, I just used to go through that. Okay, do I know this? Okay, if I don't know this, I'll just Google it. And
How
they
did
even
it
used to.
help in other companies' preparation? Because if you
Okay,
don't get selected in Worldline, will these
yes.
videos and training help you?
Yes, sir. So what happens is whenever you prepare for any interview, according to me, you take your preparation up to a level. Like for example, if I'm at zero right now, I have an interview scheduled for next week, right? So I'll just try to learn each and everything, and that will give me an extra edge. That will take me somewhere. If I'm at zero right now, 1 week after that, I'll be at 50%, right? And then this 50% doesn't go to waste. For next company, when you're preparing, you can use this 50% and make it as 100%. Worldline helped me so much that today, if you'll ask me any question about software testing, about my projects, like I went so in depth about it that even if I'm preparing for any other company, it just gives me such an extra edge. Like any software development question, if you'll ask me at the moment, I can answer it. I can even answer it in my sleep. And all those
So,
domains that they specifically, yes, sir.
so when you prepare for a domain,
Yes,
it
sir.
gives you an extra edge,
Yes, sir.
and they keep you engaged throughout the year, right?
Yes, sir.
And it is not compulsory that you need to, and only the students who uh, how only the students who are going through Worldline, who registered in Worldline, will have access to that. All the other students will not have access to that, right?
Yes, sir.
So only the students. So my point to the students who are listening here is, if you are see whatever you learn from this journey can be used in any domain. So Lavanya had software testing. Lavanya, what other domains were there?
So apart from testing, there were C++, Java, C/, Angular, and I think .NET was also there. There were 5 domains as far as I can remember.
So apart from the generic training, Worldline will give you domain
Domain
in-depth
specific training.
knowledge in one domain.
Yes,
And
sir.
for Lavanya's batch, it was the first batch. So now you have one whole year, and you are going to be shepherded by the wonderful Jaikumar sir. So let's take a minute to thank Dr. Jaikumar and Dr. Manigandan Narayana.
Yes,
These are
sir.
the two biggest names. Dr. Jaikumar is from VIT Vellore. Dr. Manigandan Narayana is the Assistant Director of Placement in VIT Vellore. Lavanya, your thoughts on Jay Kumar support and Dr. Manikandan Narayana support?
So they were really extremely supportive throughout this journey. Whenever they were reachable, we can reach them at any point of time. They were on our WhatsApp group, and whenever any hackathon used to we have level 2. So Manikandan sir and Jaykumar sir used to share the materials on WhatsApp. Not only that, they used to share the videos that we can go through in order to ace the interview or the levels round. And whatever information used to come, they were really active throughout the entire journey, and they used to push us forward. Like, even when our interviews were going on, both of them, they were like literally pushing us forward. Guys, you can do it. They were motivating us throughout the entire journey, giving us materials to study from, like lectures that we can grow through. I think they were extremely supportive. Even if we had any doubts, they used to go above and beyond in order to help us throughout this journey. I'm extremely grateful for their support throughout this journey. Like, without them, it would have been a mess. We used to sometimes, like, as a student, you sometimes don't know what to do. You just collide. And in the entire VIT placement cell, in fact, even you, at some point, I remember, you don't get selected in companies, and you just feel so low. And then mail from Sriram sir will come, and then you'll be like, okay, you can do better. This is not the end of the world. Okay, something is left. So really grateful for them. Whatever I think I have achieved up to date is because of you guys, even to them.
So, on behalf of the Lions of VIT Bhopal, all the Lions of VIT Bhopal, I take this opportunity to thank two incredible people,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Jayakumar and Dr. Manikandan Narayana, and one person who towers above them all, Dr. Samuel Rajkumar. Why
It's a you.
we, uh, uh, I'll pass. I didn't hear that. So while we'll thank Dr. Manikandan Narayana and Samuel Rajkumar sir, when they came for the orientation session, Dr. Manikandan Narayana mentioned this, right? Lavanya, you were there in that auditorium when they mentioned this, and Dr. Samuel Rajkumar sir also took some
Yes,
time to guide the students individually, right?
yes, sir.
So your words for, in case Samuel sir hears this or Manikandan sir hears this, what will be your words?
Okay, my words to them will be, sir, thank you so much for your endless support and guidance. I'll say that I'm here, and it's all because of you. Throughout the guidance, you never let us down. And I hope someday if I get a chance to meet them, I'll be just like, thank you so much, sir. You shaped my life and you made it better. Uh,
Okay,
and
let's come to the students now.
yes,
Okay,
sir.
so students' queries is, I'm not going to mention this name.
Okay, sir.
How to heal from failure or continuous series of failure? This is
Okay,
a
just
second, third year
wait for
student.
the mails from placement cell. uh, a mail will come in no time, and it will be really pushing you forward. Placement cell, there's a great role. At least for me, whenever I was down, and then a mail will come at 2 a.m. or at 4 a.m. or really odd times, and it will be like, don't stop, Lions, you are the Lions of VIT Bhopal. Push yourself forward. Apart from that, I think guys don't get motivated. VIT is a great brand. It really calls a lot of companies, and you'll be getting endless opportunities throughout your way. Just put your best efforts. Participate in hackathons. If you have a CGPA, I will say of less than 8.8 at any point, or if you have less than 80% in throughout, if in 10th or 12th, please put your focus on hackathons. They are a great way of showcasing your skills. If you have the skills, trust me, the companies like Worldline will hire you. You just need to show them that you have the potential to get hired. You have the right skills, you have the right mindset to make it through. And especially, like, what happens is when companies come to our campus, they make this shortlisting based on CGPA. And sometimes, even after having skills, you will not be able to put your best face forward, just because of you have like 8.5 CGPA or 8.6 CGPA. CGPA is really important. Please try to maintain a good CGPA of 9 plus. If not, try to really extend your CGPA to 8.8 plus. And if you don't have that, don't miss a single opportunities like this hackathons. They'll give you an extra edge over the other candidates. It might happen, a person who is having way less CGPA is placed before a person who is having a might like really good CGPA, just on the basis of skill. Some companies really just want your skill. If you have them, please prove it to them, and you'll have your way through.
On the CGPA's part,
Yes, sir.
Lavanya, we had a student who had less than 60%, 10 plus 2.
Yes,
We
sir.
don't know, we know the name of student, but we can't tell it on YouTube live. Who was coming with you. And we had students who were 6.2, 6.7, 6.8 CGPA, making it to the final round and actually getting selected. For
Yes.
privacy reasons, I'm not mentioning the name. So, what does Worldline look for? That
I think Worldline especially look for the skills that you have. If you
so
have the
they don't,
skills,
they didn't bother about any
no,
CGPAs.
I think so. The Worldline's eligibility criteria was anyone, even for the hackathon, anyone who clears level 1 and level 2 and has more than 60% in 10th and 12th is eligible. So everyone got the link. Everyone who has more than 60% in 10th and 12th got the link for level 1.
No, we
If
had
you clear,
students with less than 60% in 10th and 12th also,
okay, sir,
who
I
went to
think.
the final round. Uh,
Oh, so no idea. As far as I know, the Worldline has this criteria of minimum 60% in 10th and 12th. And
10th
then,
or 12th, I think. Anyway,
okay.
so it's more the skills that matters. See,
Yeah. In
when
Yes, sir.
sometimes we all get confused, right? And again, repeating this to the students. Personally, I sent to that student to Worldline, and that's why I know. A lot of times, you guys come to us and say, "Shriram sir, 8.5 CGPA or 10th में मैंने गलती कर दिया, मेरा score was less and so on." But when it comes to opportunities like this, you just have to fill the form. There are three forms. One is from Worldline, second is from VIT Bello, third is from VIT Bhopal. Three forms are being sent to you. You just have to fill three forms. It will change your life. You just have to, and someday, see Lavanya, when I asked her, I think she had a smile this big, sitting on the other side of the table, right? She had a big smile, big, this big. And what is going to happen? Why the smile is there? Why is the smile there? You have a sense of having made it, right?
Yes,
Why?
sir. Yes, sir. Like I myself see some people having way better grades than me, and then they are still frustrated. And then it's just like, okay, if you have the skills, if you have the right mindset, you can make it. Just put your best efforts. Sometimes I know you feel low because you are not getting shortlisted for companies and all, but guys, look for hackathons. There are many great hackathons, like Walmart conducts Sparkathon. Then there are really many great hackathons, and in hackathons your grades don't matter. What matters is the skill that you have, whatever you have done in the past 3 or 4 years. So, even in Worldline, they'll conduct this hackathon. They don't look for your grades, they look for the skills that you have. So please focus on such skills. Please build your skill. If you have the skill, if you have that level, you will make it through.
Okay, we have another question from Pragya.
Okay,
Pragya
sir.
is asking, how do I select projects? How do I start projects? What makes a project a good project?
Okay, this is a really good question, and I personally don't know how to answer this. How do you know it's a good project? What I have done personally is, whenever an idea used to come, whenever I used to see any gap, for example, okay, this gap exists in the market, and maybe I can learn about how to fix this gap, I used to go forward with it. So, like, I have made some really simple projects, and I have made some really complicated projects. I have even made a project for VIT. So like that, any gap that I used to find, just try to find the gaps in the society. Like, okay, this thing exists, this doesn't, and how can you fill that gap or make that gap better? So I
Can
think
you give
that will
one
be a great
example? You
project.
got placed, so they are not going to steal your idea.
Okay. So like, for VIT, me and my group of friends made invite project or a review system in which, you can actually, that's so I'll first pitch it to you and then I'll disclose about it. But a really simple project that I recently made was a real-time translation system that was based on switches. So what happens is, for example, if I'm talking to a French person right now, so right now the translation that happens is, it's like, first of all, you'll have you need to, for example, if you're using Google Translator, I'll put my text in the Google Translator, then it will translate it, and then it will give a voice translation to it. What I have made is, it's a real-time voice to voice translation. Right now I'm talking in English, and this translated language will be translated into French in real time to the another person, so there is no latency. And such systems don't really exist, or they do exist but not up to the level that I we are trying to build. So yeah, this is a project that I was working on, and it's really simple. There is no data storage. It's based, like as I said, it's based on sockets. really simple project, but a real time translation, which is like voice to voice translation. It's not voice to text and then text to voice,
Again,
like that.
you see, students, one of the reasons why there are 6 people who are selected in Worldline, and you can see why I asked, requested Lavanya. If you feel passionate about anything, then you don't need to worry about anything in your life. You don't need to worry about any single thing in your life. You just have to have that passion and the energy, and then you are set for life.
So
So,
like last year also about a project, if as you have asked, na, last year I got selected for Microsoft Engage, and at that time online examinations were at a boom. So what used to happen, we all know that we all used to cheat very well, and at some point I was really frustrated because I used to like sometimes you used to study and that you don't score that well. So that was a gap that I was finding really interesting at that time, and I made a real-time proctoring system in at third year, same age as you guys are. And in that, in my online proctoring system, you guys can go to my GitHub or to my LinkedIn, and you can just check it out. I even added many additional features. I did a lot of things. Any gap that I used to find in society, I used to implement it. So that proctoring system is so advanced. It can track your eye movement, your lip movement, if anyone is walking into the camera, and based on that, it proctors the entire system. You don't even need a human, like you do need a human interference, but it really reduces this online cheating thing to a great extent. I think 70% something was the amount that I was able to reduce it to, because you can't cheat. Your eyes, your lips, your movements, each and everything was getting treated. It was an ML project, and you can just go through my LinkedIn, this LinkedIn or GitHub, and you can go about it if you are interested, or you can connect with me. There are not that many Lavanya Doohans in this world. There is just one. So if any of you are interested, if you guys have any doubt, or if at any point I can help you, let me know.
that's great, man. That's a great
Yes.
line. There are
So
not
even I
many
remember
Lavanya
last year when I
Doohan.
came up to you, any feature that Sriram sir suggests, please put it, because it will give you an edge. He has a lot of experience in such things. So guys, you have a great source.
They have to clear the immersion rounds.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yes, please clear it. We get a lot of guidance from Sriram sir, and uh, guys, experience matter. Whatever he says, even if you can't understand it, try to put his point. You will know the reason later on, because we are young. We don't really understand a few things as good as they can, because they have all this
She's
experience.
indirectly telling all the time she cursed me when I
No,
scolded
sir.
her.
No, sir.
It was,
No, sir. I'm just saying that experience matters, and if
and
at certain point you guys think that, okay, no, 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 this is not what you planned, just understand this thing that experience really matters. Whatever they'll say will be for your betterment only. So just try to suffer and do that thing.
I like the suffering look. Anyway, so
Nothing
any
comes free, sir. Everything has its own pains.
that's great. So, dear, so what will so the students are registering as we speak, and this webinar has been a good take up for that. I also thank now the wonderful program chairs. Uh, I think the 3, 4 program chairs here, Dr. Preetham Suman sir, Dr. Manigandan sir, Dr. Sasmita Padi ma'am, and Sandeep Pal sir, Pradeep Mishra sir, Balaji sir from gaming, Swagat Samantray sir, and Saravanan sir. All these people have actually helped us a lot immensely, and of course our dean, Dr. Bhuman sir. So, Lavanya, did you have any when you learned that Worldline was such a big company and the culture was so great? What did you during your visit to Worldline? What did you notice about them that impressed you most?
Okay. So, very honestly speaking, at first I had the Worldline didn't sponsor the trip, and I had a little less expectations about the Worldline budget. But when I went to the Worldline office, I was really amazed by the location, the kind of infrastructure they had. It was right in front of the World Bank. So you can imagine the kind of infrastructure that Worldline had. It has a really great working office space and a really free environment. We were offered food over there. They even the the environment that Worldline has, it has a really free culture. Everyone was really super relaxed. The mentors who were taking our interview, or the persons who were working there, they were really happy by the work culture that Worldline has to offer. They offered us tea, snacks, coffee, everything, and the location was great. Worldline overall, I think it's a really, and even when the offer letter came, I'll say that guys, it has its own benefits. Just like in government job, there is LTC and stuff, right? So I think this is the first private company that I have seen who gives stuffs like that. So they have their own benefits. It's a really big company. It's a huge company. It's a product based company, and uh, I think when I went there, it really influenced my decision that okay, now I want to work here. Earlier, I had little less expectations, but once you see the office, once you see the working space, once you will talk to the people who are working over there, you will realize that it's overall a really great environment to work in.
And anybody whom you want to thank, this is a live YouTube webinar in Worldline, especially
Okay, so I'll in
in
Worldline.
in Worldline.
In Worldline, so the person who took my interview, I think his name was Shiv Ram something. I'm forgetting it. Huge thanks to them and the HR and even the Worldline head, Chennai head. I'm really bad at names. Please forgive me. These three people. Huge thanks to you guys for. Uh, Not just for me, for the entire Worldline VIT Bhopal team who went there. The management was great. They really put their best face forward. And from huge thank to VIT Bhopal's placement team. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah,
to
we'll come to that.
yes,
Anmol Tandon is asking. Amol Tandon is asking, does Worldline provide just domain-specific material? And at what stage did they ask us our domain?
Okay, so see, Worldline, first of all, they ask you for domain in the second. You need to clear level 1 in order to be eligible for level 2. And level 2 will be domain specific. Level 1 is very generic. Level 2 is domain specific. And in level 2, yeah, as I've said, it is domain specific. And Worldline provides you material throughout each and every point of the way. Even if you do not make it through, or if even if you are not selected in Worldline, even if you are the part of WhatsApp group, Worldline does post materials on WhatsApp group that you can use for your front end, for improving your front end development skills or your back end skills, or just to learn about new technologies. So it's like that. And in level 2, in level 1, they just provided us syllabus via mail, if I'm specifically talking. And in level 2, they provided us Udemy links that we can use. They provided us they provided us a Google form zip link that consisted of different materials, books, materials that you can use to study from, and Udemy links and documents that we can use in order to improve our performance. And they were very specific about what you need to study, what all different topics are there. For example, like an introduction to Windows, they'll have this 5-6 topics that you need to study, and only those topics were asked in the final examination. It's just like our CAT examinations or midterms. They're very specific about what they want.
They also had a lot of webinars where you can
Yeah,
verify.
they had a lot of webinars. They even guys, you won't believe, they even took a mock hackathon in which the people from Worldline even participated before our actual hackathon took place. They gave us chances to take mock level 1, mock level 2. They showed us a live demonstration of what the hackathon will look like. So at each step of the way, you will be very well familiarized with the process before it actually happens. So before any
You
level
also
1 test,
mentioned one more thing called
yes.
product-based company. And why do you specifically mention that word to students now? Product-based company. What makes Worldline a product-based company, and what is the difference between product-based companies and other companies?
Okay, so basically there are, I think so they'll be well familiarized with the concept of there are two types of company. One is a product based and one is a service based. So TCS type of companies, they provide service to the customers, and Worldline type of companies, they build products they build products that the customers can use. So there is a difference. Either you build product or either you provide the service. So Worldline is a product based fintech company, and in Worldline they'll build the products. It's just like it's in India, like we have Paytm, right? It's the Paytm of Europe. It's that kind of a company. It's the leading fintech company of Europe.
And why is this fintech and product-based company matter to a student? Why not take just any company?
Okay, so guys, see, whenever you'll start this journey of your life, your start really matters. It will give you an extra edge. So, what's the difference between a VIT lawyer and a local student, right? So, such companies give you an extra edge. Your start will be in such a great companies. Your start will define, like if you'll start from here, this is the dream of each and every person, right? And your start is the dream of other person. So, you can see what level you are at. So this is what I'll have to say.
Okay.
You'll be working in,
So
yes, sir.
go ahead. Go ahead. You'll be
No,
working
sir,
in.
it's okay. So you'll be working in a dream environment. Like हर किसी को ऐसा होना चाहिए ना best company. You are working in one of the best European company. It's the fourth best global fintech company, and it's the Europe's best company to work on. I can share all this data if you're interested. I'm not talking in air. It's all facts. It's all true. So just imagine how proud moment it will be for you and for your family to be a part of such a huge organization.
And VIT is one among the few campuses that they have recruited from, right?
Yes.
And they
Yes,
also
they
give a
only
cash
hire
award,
from
right?
very specific campuses, and I mean, we are all very lucky to be part of such an organization from which they hire from. So just imagine saying to your relatives that you are working in hashtag number one best European company in this domain. Isn't it cool?
That's cool. So there's also a cash award at the end of the hackathon, right? There are some cash awards for first prize, second prize, second, third prize.
Yes, sir.
So you get a job, you also get a cash award, you also get a lot of other things. And
Yes, sir.
okay. So
Okay,
Lavanya, it's
about
been
this, yes, sir, I completely forgot. Let me just, it might make you a bit greedy. So in Worldline, if you secure first position, you get a cash prize of about 1 lakh rupees and a job offer, a super dream job offer. I'll just put it that way. If you get second prize, then you win a cash prize of 50K. And then if you get third prize, you win a cash amount of 25K with a job offer. So it's like that. And the hackathon format is also very simple. In front end technologies, they will ask you HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In backend, just using any database, you can store the data. And apart from that, they ask you business logic. That's it. If you are able to be among the top three among these few selected colleges that will be appearing in the hackathon, guys, you'll even have a cash prize and a slightly better job than the
not
others.
only the winners, more than 20 students from VIT campuses got an offer, right? More than
Yes.
20 to 30 students got an
Yeah,
offer.
I think around 2021 students got this offer from Worldline.
And next year, from what I hear, the offer number is going to be like 100 or 200. So,
Oh, it's a great
especially from
chance.
VIT. And the other thing is, the second last point before we move on, there is a difference between getting into a telecommunications company or another company and a fintech domain. A fintech domain is always safer, and the other part of the market that Lavanya is talking about is the
Mm-hmm.
European market. The
Yes.
US market right now is, as you all know, the students also know, is down. European market is actually very stable. We have a lot of hiring, especially in the European market, and companies in world fintech market are very strong and they are very stable. In fact, BlackRock, Worldline, and
Mm.
companies which are in the financial space have continued to hire, whereas companies which are in the other spaces, technology spaces, have reduced their hiring. That's why you will see that companies which are in the technology spaces have reduced their hiring. They have not even come for hiring this year. So the fintech hiring last year, whatever their number was, this year also the number is more or less the same. So that is one of the reasons why I am holding this webinar. See, guys, you had a lot of internship opportunities. This is the first company for which I am holding a webinar, and I'm requesting Lavanya instead of her placement studies. I think she finished a test for Celestica at 7:30 p.m. She has another PPT link tomorrow uh, at around 11:30 a.m. So in midst of her test, I'm just disturbing her, telling her uh, to please help the students. So, guys, this is a great opportunity and make use of it. On behalf of all the Lions, I thank Lavanya for this wonderful session, uh, and wish you all the best, Lavanya, and
Thank
keep
you so much,
rocking.
sir.
So your
Uh,
final words.
Okay, so my final words are, first of all, thank you so much for giving me this chance to be finally on this side of the interview, finally on being this side of the webinar. It means a lot to me. And thank you so much for always believing in me. I think after my parents, you have always been a really solid support for me throughout this interview, throughout this placement journey. And I'm really grateful for whatever you have done for me till now.
No, no,
And
no.
for
Advice
all
to the
the advice.
Lions.
Yes,
Advice
sir.
to
To
the Lions.
Lions, guys, you are in one of the best institute in this world. Please make the best out of it. Do not miss such opportunities such as hackathon. They'll give you an extra edge. You guys are very brave. You guys are the lions of VIT Bhopal. You don't need any words from me. You have it from the man itself. So all the best. Do very well in your life. And so that's it from my end. Thank you so much for giving me this chance once again.
Thanks, Lavanya. My best wishes to you for your success in your life. Dear Lions, I thank all of you who have joined in YouTube and who are going to watch in YouTube the years to come, months and years to come. We are always there for you guys. Just make this opportunity. I hear sometimes see a lot of students coming to us, sir, I'm not getting opportunities. It's like somebody who goes to God and says, I want a lottery prize of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. One day God really got stuff and he came in person and gave the person a slap and said, just buy the lottery ticket, man. That's when you're gonna get the lottery.
Yeah, if you have
Similarly,
any opportunity, use it. Use it to the best and try to put your best efforts and make the max out of it.
so similar
It
to
is
that
very
lottery ticket, which is gonna lottery ticket 1 in a million chance. For Worldline Hackathon, the chances of you working hard and getting selected is 90 to 100%. That's how committed. Because when Lavanya came back and told me, said 4 people, uh, we actually had uh, the. It was the first time, so we didn't have this kind of webinar experience. 90% chance if you work hard and get selected, you will have a dream offer. You'll be still eligible for super dream offer, or you'll have a super dream offer. 90 to 100% chances there. A lottery ticket is like 1 in a million or 1 in 10 million. So my advice to you, those who are watching, what is your lottery ticket? Just fill the form, wait for our mails. We will be taking you through this journey. Clear level 1, clear level 2. Come back next year and remind me, Sriram sir, you told me that I will appear in a webinar with for the juniors, and I'll gladly host you for the webinar. So I thank Lavanya Doohan. I also thank Worldline for such a great offer for our students. I thank Maniganda Narayana sir for establishing this opportunity. Maniganda Narayana sir's video is there in our YouTube channel. He's a very famous guy, Assistant Director of VIT Vellore. Thanks, Amal Rajkumar sir, and all the PAT team members, and all the program chairs, and all the Lions. Guys, that's as always in all my webinars, in all my mails. Work hard, success will be yours. Work hard, success will always be yours. Wish you all the best and good night.
okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Great job.